give you an update from our representation and participation in the second stakeholder consultation meeting that took place in Riyadh for the World Water Forum that is taking place in Riyadh in March of 2027. And as we know, the World Water Forum is this recurring forum that encompasses people, stakeholders, academics, government, private sector, bringing in all water utilities and such from around the world in this massive event that occurs every 3 to 4 years, depending on the situation, to basically make sure that there is collaboration on water issues, specifically from various standpoints. So as we know, the host that is coming up for the World Water Forum in 2027 is Saudi Arabia, and the second stakeholder consultation meeting that took place in Jeddah last month was incredibly fruitful. At CWI, Climate and Water Initiative, we've been very blessed to be a part of the thematic process. And walking you through that very, very briefly is the World Water Forum encompasses three various processes. There's the political process, which encompasses a lot of sort of the initiatives and demands that are happening on the political level, especially with ministers, government officials, and so forth, so that there can be collaboration that is happening, whether it be multilaterally or bilaterally between states. As well as also, for instance, on a different partisan level. So those are where the political processes come in and take place. Then there's the thematic process. So based on the various contents and themes in the various themes, and this year there are 6 themes, everything from water insecurity to water energy food nexus to water financing and water innovation, which is the theme 5, which we are all taking part in. And then there's the regional process, which brings in regional representation from the various places around the world. So, for instance, the issues that you might find around water may differ from places like Latin America than they would, for instance, the Middle East and North Africa region. Similarly, Asia might be very, very different, or Africa, based on, of course, climate, topology, various other needs. And so that's where the water issues on a regional level can somewhat be also imperative to discuss and have collaborations over to make sure that those become a lot more succinct. Now, a lot of what the second stakeholder consultation meeting was intended to do is to make sure that these three processes, which are having their discussions within their working groups, both independently, is to make sure that there's cross-pollination and collaboration that's also taking place. So what might be taking place, for instance, in a regional process, for instance, in the Arab region, Arab group it's important to make sure that that's also being translated into the thematic process and vice versa. And again, of course, into the political process. And so a lot of those synergies need to take place to make sure that the various processes are not speaking in silos and are not having those conversations independently. Similarly, on the thematic process front, you'll also find that a lot of the topics might actually also overlap. And in order to avoid redundancies, that's where that comes to take place and ensure that there's collaboration taking place. As Climate and Water Initiative, we're the topic coordinator for topic 5D under theme 5, which is water innovation, which discusses specifically citizen science and community engagement on water issues. And we're very blessed within our working group to be able to look at various topics of how citizen science can actually empower communities and help solve many of the very interesting and problematic technological problems with simple solutions. And so we've been discussing this for the last year and a half, various examples from around the world, and then how we can bring this forward into the forum within our topics to be able to have various sessions that also discuss how to integrate it appropriately according to a lot of the new sort of technological innovations that have come about. So one thing that we've come and discovered recently is, of course, this conversation around AI is very, very prevalent in many of the spaces. And how do we integrate water with AI and have an understanding both of the environmental footprint that comes with the usage of AI through, of course, data centers and such, which has a very large environmental and social footprint, whether it be through water usage, energy uses, the land footprint of data centers, the actual every prompt that you make, the amount of water that it takes. It has a water footprint for every time that you use an AI search versus if you were to use a simple Google search, for instance. These differences are making that aware to people, to the public, so that we're not also utilizing AI for simple things that may not necessitate it, warrant it, and have a very high footprint environmentally to be able to conduct. Where then can we actually also utilize AI for very interesting and potentially wonderful collaborative solutions that can allow us and help us solve some of the water issues that we end up having both in the utility level, on the community level, and other ways. And how can AI and those technologies be able to empower communities a little bit more to be able to do so? So that's where we're talking about both sort of the pros and the cons and being able to have a balance of when to use it and contextualize it appropriately to be able to understand what it is that we can begin to do. So some of the sessions that we'll be having this in the World Water Forum in March in Jeddah is this idea of also taking place, this integration and nexus between water and technologies, especially around AI. We're also going to be looking into having different, more interactive sessions. So a lot of our sessions are not sort of going to be the dry formats of making sure that we're, going in, there's a panel or a lecturer speaking about a session and that's it. But instead, maybe potentially having training courses around how to utilize it appropriately, gamifying it in a way that you can actually create scenarios and scenario building exercises with role playing activities to ensure that people go home actually making sure that they have the skill sets to be able to implement those specific activities on the ground as opposed to just theoretically hearing it from a lecture or a seminar. So this is the difference in which that we're really trying to execute when it comes to Riyadh for the World Water Forum, and to make sure that this forum really comes out becoming a very successful one, in that it's not just another forum. We go and we listen to a bunch of speakers, we go home, but we're really taking skill sets and knowledge that is useful to ourselves and to our communities to be able to go back and become true citizen scientists in our own capacities, in our watersheds, in our places that we can actually make an impact in the water world in our own places.